Hello and welcome to this week's Summer Learning Series, and today we're going to talk about Everyone Can Code. Everyone Can Code is a free curriculum which teaches coding from 5-year-olds to university level, and students can get a university level qualification from this programme. It's designed by Apple Education, and for primary school we use the teacher guide called Get Started with Code and Puzzles. So today you're going to just have a little look at those books and hear about some lessons that one of our teachers here at Burton Joyce teaches. So I'm joined today by Lucy Brodie. Lucy is one of our Apple teachers with Swift Playground recognition, and she was an early adopter of Everyone Can Code. She was one of our first teachers to start using these guides with her children in year 6. So Lucy, could you just tell us a little bit about Everyone Can Code?
So I've never taught coding before, but I found the guides useful and straightforward to teach from. The lesson design is great. There's a collaborative problem to solve as a group, which I then apply to teaching a concept of coding. And by the end of primary school, the children can read and write Swift coding, which is pretty amazing.
Great. And as a teacher, it's really easy to pick up the lesson plans from the guides and just run with them?
Absolutely.
Good. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. These are the guides that you need to download from the Apple Bookstore, and as we've already said, these guides are free. And this is what implementation of the guides might look like in your coding curriculum. We start with Get Started with Code 1 in Key Stage 1 in Year 1, and the children use the CodeSpark, the FOOS app. They then move on to use Tinker and the Space Cadet lessons. The Get Started with Code 1 teacher guide moves into Year 3, where the children keep using Tinker, and they move from using the English Tinker blocks and they head into using Swift blocks in Year 4. By the time the children are in Year 5, the teachers are using the Get Started with Code 2 teacher guide and still working within Tinker with the Swift blocks, but this time using the Dragon Spell lessons. And once the children enter Year 6, that's where they're using the new Puzzles guide and the Swift Playground app, which is designed by Apple. And they're the lessons that Lucy just described to us. Our brand for progressing children's skills in sequencing, we have the same progression for repeat loops, conditional statements, event handling, and in Year 5 and 6, we teach children about variables. The skills that you can see listed across foundation through to Year 6 in that sequencing row, they are lifted straight out of the teacher guides from Get Started with Code 1, 2, and Puzzles. And all I do is map those to the lessons in the guide so that we get a really clear progression through the skills for each area of coding, and we know exactly which lessons are being taught with which software in the year. So if you head into the Apple Teacher Learning Centre now, you'll be able to access more information about the Everyone Can Code curriculum, and there will be links there to the guides for you to download them, where you can literally pick these up and start teaching a coding curriculum.